Afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here with a look at your tropical update for July 9th of 2019. Again, brought to you by good folks at Pine Belt Gutters. Big thanks to them for helping us out with this. We got a lot going on. We'll start in the Gulf of Mexico, where outside of this blow-up of activity associated with Invest 92L, there's not much going on. And you're thinking, you're going, well, Nick, that's really all we care about. That's a good thing. It should be all you care about right now. We got a little wave out here, another wave off the coast of Africa that's falling apart. With another one actually back in behind it. So things, again, it's July. Things are starting to pick back up. But let's head back over to Invest 92L out here. And you can see the blow-up of convection here associated with it. A lot of this is afternoon thunderstorm stuff. There was a little bit of a trough out here earlier, noted on, I think water vapor was showing that pretty well. But a pretty good shot for development. It's actually up to 50% and 80% over the next 2 to 5 days. So the NHC is pretty sure we're going to get a tropical depression out of this, and likely a tropical depression and possibly a tropical storm. And we can't even rule out a Category 1 hurricane at this point either. And again, this is why when we talk about this stuff at so many days out, people ask, well, is it going to be a super bad hurricane? I can't tell you, unfortunately. We don't really know until these things actually get a low-level center associated with them. We got to have a center, and all the computer models can get a hook into it. Then they can start to make projections. But before we get an area of low pressure, it gets really tough. I will say this: the water temperatures out here are quite balmy, anywhere between 87, 88, 85 degrees, 86 degrees out in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. So the water temperatures are warm enough, and you can see some of the winds out here back out of the west at about 10 to 20 miles an hour. Seas are only at about 1 to 3 to 5 feet out there for the most part. So calm waters so far, but we'll have to see how things shake out there over the next couple of days. Here's your spaghetti plots for Invest 92L. And again, once we get a center on this, you can see how that really matters, because the center is about Mariana, about right here roughly. And notice how some of these think the center of the storm is way out here. Others of them think it's over here, others right here, some down here. And it matters when you talk about where you got to get a good start point. And if you airball the start point, the end point isn't going to be right. It just can't be, because the start point wasn't right. So when the start point, again, this is about 18Z. So the extrapolation here is that, yeah, this center, so anything that's kind of in this ballpark is probably pretty decent. Most of them take it down into the Gulf of Mexico, and it kind of pulls a U-turn toward the coast of Louisiana before lifting back off to the north as we head through Friday and into Saturday. All the while, for South Mississippi, southern Alabama, and Louisiana, it's probably going to be raining. No matter if this is a tropical depression, tropical storm, or Category 1 hurricane, it doesn't matter. It is going to rain, and you're going to see a fair amount of rain from this before it curlicues back off to the north. I tend to like the TAB models as a good fence for where is this thing going to go. The shallow version takes it, kind of curlicues it way back to the north real quick. The medium one takes it kind of due west-northwesterly toward New Orleans, and the deeper one takes it actually out into the Gulf and then kind of spins it back around to the north. So, and again, shallow, weak storm, medium, M, TAB M, a medium tropical storm, Category 1 hurricane, D, TAB D, a deeper storm, Category 2, 3, 4, and 5 hurricanes. So that builds a good fence between, you know, the opportunities that we have out there. Right now, the idea is at landfall somewhere about Saturday morning. You know, here we are on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days out, 96 hours out. We get landfall. Most of the models have it between a weak tropical storm and a stronger tropical storm. We have one model that takes it up to a Category 1 hurricane, and we've got a couple down here that leave it as just a tropical depression. Again, that's just with the spaghetti models that we can look at right now. That's, again, your fence for intensity as of now. I don't like to generally look at intensities much further than about 72 hours out, which again have it in the same ballpark, somewhere between a tropical storm and a Category 1 hurricane, or a very strong tropical storm in here. I don't like to look too much further out than about 48 to 72 hours, because the models just aren't very good at that, particularly when there's not even a known center on this thing yet. So That is one thing to kind of keep in mind when you're probably looking at all these forecasts on social media, or maybe you're watching the Weather Channel or wherever it is else that you get your weather information other than right here on the WDAM First Alert Weather app. Just know that they can make some wild and grandiose claims, and it's based on, you know, some of this stuff. But this stuff, once you get beyond this point, in the best. And so I try not to forecast too far ahead of where the computers can actually do a decent job. But again, rain is going to be the name of the game. Here we are Wednesday afternoon. I think we actually start to see some showers and thunderstorms loosely and indirectly associated with Invest 92L, which would be named Barry if it does form into a tropical storm. I think we finally start to see some semblance of organization as we get into Thursday morning. Now, we're going to be on the north side of this, and there's going to be a fair amount of shear out here, and I think it's going to be peeling off the northern side of the whatever happens out here, Invest 92L Barry. But I still think indirectly Thursday afternoon we see some showers and thunderstorms associated with this. Our high-res futurecast brings this thing ashore just off to the kind of south and west of New Orleans on Saturday morning at some point, and just pulls it basically due north at that point, spreading a whole mess of rain across our area. Regionally speaking, this is going to be a pretty decent rain producer as well. I mean, it depends on what model you look at. We'll start with the European here, and you can see that's a lot of water. I mean, we're talking upwards of 12, 15, 20 inches of rain across parts of Louisiana, according to this one model. This isn't the official forecast from the WPC. This is just one model forecast. Across our area, somewhere between 3 to 5, maybe 7 to 8 inches of rain. What you can see in here is, as you look further across the banner, is you go pretty quickly from 5 inches to maybe out toward Macomb, where you're talking about 10 to 12 inches of rain. Again, this is one model. We can look at the other one, the GFS in here. It shows a similar situation, but it does pivot the heaviest rain back off to the west a little further. Baton Rouge with 10 inches of rain here in the Pine Belt, somewhere between about 3 to 8 inches of rain. But we do end up with this little slice that goes up around Macomb, somewhere between, again, 8 to 10 to 12 inches of rain, according to this same, or to this different model. You see the blue edge in here getting into parts of Marion County, 8 inches of rain. So the official forecast from us the last couple of days has said it's somewhere between 2 and 6 inches of rain. Some folks could see even more than that, and perhaps even double. This is why. We're still trying to figure out where this bullseye of heaviest rain is going to be, and it's probably going to be closest to wherever the center makes landfall, or whoever sees the most showers and thunderstorms within the rain bands. Here, let me go back here. Within the rain bands, as this thing forms out over the Gulf, we're going to get sprayed with rain bands. There could be just some areas that just happenstantially see more rain than others. Unfortunately, pinpointing those is very difficult, but I think a very general trend is somewhere between, and look at there's a very sharp cutoff in the European, which I don't know that'll necessarily play out. But there's going to be a pretty decent swath across the whole area of somewhere between 2 and about 6 inches of rain, with some spots seeing even more. And again, where we get the heaviest rain showers that develop, that's who's going to see the most. Okay, so my favorite 700 millibar moisture, 850 vorticity. There's Barry, Invest 92L, Wednesday morning. Is there anything other than this? Now, we've talked about this in pretty good detail. You can see it moving across the Gulf of Mexico before it turns. Is there anything else out here that we need to worry about? All right, well, we've got plenty of Saharan dust and dry air. We've got actually another wave that just came off the coast of Africa down here, probably a little too far off to the south. Here we go through Friday and Saturday and into Sunday. Notice that the GFS model here does take the center of this pretty far off to the east. We'll have to see how that plays out. What happened to the wave that was down here? Well, we got all the dry air out here, so it got eaten by dry air. We've got another wave that comes off the African coast. That gets eaten up by a bunch of dry air as we head through Monday and Tuesday, and it looks like dry air kind of wins out as we head through Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe another wave out here as well as we head through July 19th. Of 2019. But again, there's your tropical update. Still watching Invest 92L. Still looks like a rainmaker for us with a little bit of wind. We'll have to watch this specific track, but just know you're talking about 2 to 6 inches of rain across the area, with perhaps some spots seeing a little bit more. But some kind of catastrophic Category 5 Hurricane Michael kind of situation is not what is in the forecast right now. None of the data would support such a thing. However, You can never say never with tropical systems. That's one thing I've learned, but we're not too terribly concerned about that right now. So again, here's your tropical update. The good folks at Pine Belt Gutters, thanks to them for helping us out with these for July 9th of 2019.